Welcome back, hashtag Callie friends and fam. It is lovely to see you again. I know you're probably wondering, Allie, where have you been? Psst, you have virtually no subscribers. No one was wondering where you were. Well, that was rude. But yes, on a real and honest note, I have taken a little bit of a break for my mental health. I think I was definitely trying to overextend myself because I do work a 40-hour-a-week full-time job. And I was also trying to be a full-time content creator and not only put out one video a week, but I think I was at a moment there I was trying to do 4 a week. And that was quite the undertaking. And I think I was a bit foolish to think I could handle that. However, I did take that time and I relaxed, I reflected, I recharged my internal batteries, and I'm back and I'm excited and ready to create some new content, which brings me to today's video. Now, this video was inspired by this lovely conversation I was having with my dear friend Kayley. We were on FaceTime and she came across this article on a website called moms.com. And the title of the article is 25 Super Honest Reasons Why We Have Children. Now, if you're not familiar with my channel, then you might not realize I don't like kids. My husband doesn't like kids. We're not having kids. And I can't tell you how many times I've been told, well, you'll change your mind. It's so much different when it's yours. But you see, the problem with that argument is in order for me to find out if it's different, if it's mine, I have to have the kid. And what if it's not different? What if I still hate that kid? Off my soapbox. Okay. So I wanted to go through this article, go through these 25 super honest reasons to have children and see if any of them are enough to convince me. So let's see. Okay, it seems like the format of this article is 25 to 1. So it's going to start out like least important to most important. We'll kind of see if it gets better as we go. All right, so we're starting with number 25. To have someone take care of us when we are older. It looks like it really goes into, like once you get old, you're going to have medical problems. You need someone to take care of you. I really love how they go in to push this point. It says, honestly, do you really want to trust your final years to someone who's waiting for you to croak? Of course not. So having children is our best bet to have at least one of them there to change our adult diapers during our final years of life. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I actually grew up in a family where my father was constantly like, all right, which one of y'all 7 of my kids is going to be changing my diapers when I grow up? I mean, I'm not planning on changing my dad's diapers, but they only said at least one. So maybe I'm just not that one. I'm just not the diaper changer. All right, number 24, let's carry on the family name. All right, I don't have to do that. Because, see, there's this thing called other family members that make babies, so I don't have to. All right, let's jump on to number 23. Oh, this is a great one. It says, because they're cute. I think we have cute covered. Number 22. To stay young ourselves. Oh man, this is a hot topic, especially with all the TikTok kids calling millennials old. I mean, like, I'm a solid 26. I mean, once Leo season hits, I'll be 27, and I mean, and I feel it. Age is there. I am not a fountain of youth. However, I am not Eustace or Muriel living in the middle of nowhere with my Courage the Cowardly Dog. Okay, I'm fine. I'm young enough. However, I don't know any kids who's ever acted as a fountain of youth for their parents. I think they aged them significantly. This does go into a little bit more detail. It says, as we try to teach our children through the example of healthy eating, being active and exercising and enjoying each day to the fullest, thankfully, we too can benefit. I love this idea. However, it leaves out the fact that we're human. I mean, this article goes on to say if you've got kids, you have no choice but to be the best version of you. But, I mean, I feel like anybody would be lying if they said that they never saw their parents at their weakest. And I really think any parent would be hard-pressed to say that they have 100% never made any mistake their child has seen. Like, parents are people, and I feel like this is holding them to a way higher standard, saying that they have no choice but to be perfect because they have to be perfect for that child. And that's just way too much to put on any one person. Number 21. To be bumped up from the kids' table. Is that a thing? I mean, I know like the kids' table is a thing at certain family gatherings, but something tells me that there's really not very many family gatherings where they're shoving the 30-year-old childless single person into the kids' table with the 6-year-olds where they're talking about shoving mashed potatoes in their hair. At least that's not a thing for my family. I sit with all the grown-ups. So if your parents shove you to the kids' table at Thanksgiving, let me know. I would love to hear about that experience as an adult at the kids' table. All right, looks like number 20 is up next. It says to learn about accountability. What you don't know? But you reach adulthood and you have to have a child to learn that you're responsible for your actions and that you have to be accountable for those actions. That don't track. You're a grown up. Be a grown up. And we're moving on to the next point. It says number 19, because you can and not everyone can. Now this lovely little bit of internet article has me feeling some type of way. They go on to explain about how not every person is equipped to make offspring. Some people want nothing more in their life than to have a baby, and they just can't. Something reproductively isn't working out. They cannot biologically create a child. And many of those couples have to look into other options like IVF, adoption, fostering, and many of those options are incredibly difficult. But I don't think that the ability to do something is a reason to do something. I mean, I could walk down the street and punch somebody in the face, but I don't want to deal with the stuff that happens after I do that, like them punching me back. So I don't want to have a kid because I don't want to do the stuff that happens after having a kid, like raising the kid. And a secondary point that just very blatantly says, because you can. Girl, how do you know? I don't even know if I can have kids. How does this article know if I can have kids? I mean, I know I don't know because I haven't tried, but certainly moms.com don't know. Number 18, to live through your child. Oof. Okay, this one jumps right back into like as you're getting older, your health and everything starts to decline. You've got limitations. You can't do all the fun stuff you used to want to do. So now it's saying, let your kids do that fun stuff and you just watch. But I feel like I've seen enough Disney Channel original movies to realize it's a lot of pressure to put your dreams on your kids. So maybe don't do that. And moving on to number 17, it says to feel fulfilled at a job well done. Well, we'll move right on past that because I can feel fulfilled at pretty much anything and I don't need a kid to do it. Number 16, everybody, to fix a broken marriage. Now, I will say the author of this article does go in to say that she does not necessarily agree with this point. But I really don't think she should have included it in the first place because babies are not Band-Aids. So rather than putting all that pressure on your infant child to fix your marriage, maybe go see a marriage counselor or talk to your spouse and don't have a baby because you're fighting a lot. All right, and now on to number 15. That is 10 down, my friends. This one says, creating your own squad has never been cuter. Now, I will say, my big sister, she has a baby, and her baby are always like Mama and Mini Me, and they're super cute. They match a lot, and I love their outfits. But let's be honest, your girl's a Leo. I slay solo. Number 14, a reason to avoid work parties again. All right. Now I'm interested in why it says again, because this to me says that there was a way to get out of the work parties before kids. So what stopped that way? Okay, after reading into it a little bit more, I'm not really sure why they said again. It doesn't really say when the other time period was. It actually says that it actually says there really is no other time in your life when you can use the same excuse time and time again. So maybe that's what they mean again, is that you can just keep using that excuse over and over again. But I would like to introduce this idea of normalizing saying no. Let's erase the stigma that you have to say yes to everything. If you don't want to do something, just say you don't want to do it. Just be like, hey, normally I love getting together with you guys and I would love to hang out, but right now I'm just not feeling it. I'm gonna stay home today and I will see you guys later. And that's okay. And you know what? Good people are not going to get mad at you for that. Moving on. Number 13, have a second chance at doing it right. I don't know about that. I gotta read because I don't know what they mean. Okay, I definitely did have to read into that because I'm not really sure what they meant. But it seems like they're talking about like using your child as a way to relive your own life. Like it's going for this like, oh, I had so many regrets. I shouldn't have gotten that tattoo. I really wish I'd gone to med school. And it's basically saying, well, you can't be offered the chance to do it over, but you can have a kid. And again, that just harkens back to don't put the pressure of your dreams on your kids. That's not cool, man. All right, number 12, for all the laughter and joy in the world. Okay, this one I like. I know for a lot of parents, their kids bring so much joy to them. There are so many women out there who it is their dream, their calling in life to just be a mother. Even Kayley wants to be a mom one day, and there's nothing wrong with that. Parenthood brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, and that's awesome. But that's not the case for everybody, and it seems a little silly to assume that it is. I really love the way they end this paragraph. It says, a miniature version of ourselves is someone that we can remind us of happiness that we once had and still harbor somewhere deep within us. I seriously want to run out and make another baby right now. Ooh, spicy. All right, number 11, to be in control of someone other than yourself. Okay, dictatorship. Yes. Moving on. Number 10, because we think we have to. I'm not going to delve super deep into this, but I am going to read the first sentence that they wrote. Let's face it, we've all been brainwashed. She said it, not me. Number 9, to diminish boredom. I mean, I feel this one a little bit. I've been kind of bored lately, staying home a lot. A lot of us have been the last year and a half. But, sometimes you need to find something to take away the boredom. A human life might be a bit much for some people, myself included. Maybe don't have a baby to get rid of boredom. I mean, you could get a hobby or Yahtzee. Let's go ahead and move on to number 8. Join a new social scene. Okay, this is pretty interesting because it's something that I've realized a lot of my friends and family that are around my age are having kids and starting families. So definitely that's a thing. Hanging out with other moms, mom groups, I've heard of that. I'm sure that's what this website even started out as, moms.com. And this does go into how your social status changes as you become a mother and things that are going to be different with your social scene. I really don't like that it kind of feels culty the way it reads. Like it says, let's face it, we don't always want to fit in, but when you have a baby, your social status completely changes. You suddenly become seen and heard in ways you have not experienced before. People want to see your baby, hold your baby, and talk about your birthing and other baby experiences. Mothers and mothers-to-be literally stop you on the street to coo over your child. They're just dying to talk to you, share stories, and ask for advice. That doesn't sound like fun. That's not fun. Now, don't get me wrong. I will 100% put my dogs in a stroller and walk them around the park. And if somebody passes by me and sees my cute little dog in a stroller and says, oh, what a cute little dog, I'm going to smile at them, say thank you. I might let them pet her if I'm feeling like I want to stop walking, but I don't want to just, ugh. But you know what I don't want to do? Talk to a bunch of other people about the time that a doctor stuck their whole arm up my vagina. All right, let's move on to number 7. It says to experience the joys of pregnancy. Okay, I love this one. It's going to be real divisive, I feel like, because there is the joys of pregnancy and then there is the shitty parts of pregnancy. For instance, when my sister was pregnant with her baby, she was glowing. She seemed like she was happy. And honestly, it didn't seem like it was that hard of a pregnancy. But when my sister-in-law was pregnant, that poor woman couldn't stop throwing up for days, weeks, months even. Pretty sure my brother's DNA had something to do with that. Number 6, continue the family business. This does not apply to me. I do not have a family business, so we'll just be moving on to number 5, bond with your mother. This one's kind of sweet. So it really goes into maybe you've got a strained relationship with your mom. Maybe you guys haven't always seen eye to eye, but then you get to bond over the mutual experiences of motherhood now that you're going through the similar stuff that she went through, and then she gets to spend time with her grandchild, and it's just this really beautiful familial bond that's there. And that is a wonderful thing. That's beautiful. That's precious. I love it. And I've not always had the best relationship with my mother. And you know what? In the last decade, I have actually gotten a lot closer with my mom. We're starting to see eye to eye more. We're communicating better. And our relationship has really taken a turn for the better. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to watching that continue to improve as I get older. So yes, while I do believe that would be a wonderful bonding experience, if you wanted to have a child and you wanted to share that experience with your mother, that would be a beautiful bonding experience. But I don't think it's necessary to bond with your mother. All right, number 4, we're in the home stretch, guys. Creating memories that'll last forever. Talking about going through old photos, lazy afternoons, reading books, watching movies, and I have a lot of those. Honestly, I remember one really insignificant memory I have. We cleaned the whole house. It was one of those days where mom's like, we're cleaning everything, we're scrubbing everything down, we're dusting, and it was a big day of just cleaning stuff. And then we finally got the house clean, mom's making lunch, and we're watching Beauty and the Beast in the living room. Nothing exciting happened in this memory, but for some reason it's stuck in my head forever. And I love those memories. I love all my memories. And so far, all of the memories I've loved without kids, so I think I'm doing pretty good. Oh, this says, do you remember that time you shoved a googly eye up your nose? No? If you've shoved a googly eye up your nose, please leave in the comments. I have to know what that was about. And yeah, I love the idea of creating memories, creating scrapbooks and everything, but, really I can do that with my dogs, and I do. Number 3, kids make a house a home. Denied. My home is a home. This part of the article really seems to go into giving your house a lived in feel. You know, your kids tend to go grab things. Maybe they don't put it back where it goes, or maybe now it goes in a different spot because that's just where your kid always leaves it. But you don't need a kid to have a lived in house. In fact, a couple of full-time working adults will do it just fine. And it really goes into talking about, like, they loved a minimalist, clean, subtle, gentle look, and then they had kids. Now the house is always a mess. They wouldn't trade it for the world. Great. Fine. If that's what you love, that's what you love. I mean, everybody's house is a little bit different. When I moved in this house with Ian, this was bachelor pad central. But in the past 3 years since I've lived here, we have built furniture that fits the house and fits our style. We've painted, and we've really just made this place our own, which I really think is the deciding factor on whether your house is a home or not. Is, does it feel like you? Does it feel like your home? And this place feels like my home, so. Number 2, to prevent certain illnesses. What illnesses? Okay, so this part goes into the statistics of, you know, whenever you're pregnant, you're less likely to get ovarian cancer. And if you're pregnant before the age of 30, it lowers your risk for breast cancer as well as breastfeeding. But I would be really interested in comparing these statistics to the statistics of women who have never been pregnant. I will not be doing that research right now, but I'll do it later. Follow me on Twitter. I'll post it on Twitter. Oh, and then they threw in a little bit for the fathers, too. You know, can't leave out the dads. They've talked about the medical benefits for women in pregnancy. But for the men, it says, although it does not directly reduce the risk of illness for fathers, it does get dads off their butts, making them care more about what they eat and get more exercise. Let's just fat shame all the dad bods. Yes, for fun. Way to go, moms.com. All right, and the number 1 reason, everybody, the moment we've all been waiting for, to leave a legacy behind. This part of the article really goes into passing down knowledge and wisdom to the younger generation and leaving behind something to be remembered. And depending on your views on life after death, this may hit for you or it may not. Personally, I don't really know what happens after death. At this point in my life, I'm not really that interested in what happens after death. Hopefully it's just nothing, but, you know, we'll see. I guess, or maybe we won't. Life after death is one of those things that's really fascinated me on like a real quantum level. And on our channel, we do have a bit of a unique perspective. Kaylee identifies as Christian, I identify as agnostic. And so, you know, there's a bit of back and forth that we've discussed before, and I totally love and respect her religion, and I love that it's something that makes her happy and that she feels comfortable expressing and sharing with other people. And also love that she can express that and share that with other people without making it feel like she's trying to force them to believe what she does. It's a really beautiful talent that she has. But since we were aiming to convince me to have kids, I would really have to say that leaving a legacy behind in my family isn't that big of a concern for me. It's sweet. It's ambitious. It's just not an aspiration of mine. Well, I think I'll leave it at that. That is 25 reasons why I will not be having children, brought to you by my weird conversations with my best friend and the wonderful people at moms.com. All jokes aside, if you decide to have kids, that is awesome. Parenthood is a really hard job and it's often pretty thankless. But if you are going to have a kid, make sure that it's something that you definitely feel drawn to do. It's something that you really, really want, and not just because you feel like you have to or because some article told you that you should. I would like to go ahead and extend a big 10 out of 10 to all of the mothers and fathers that might be watching this. Y'all are doing great. There's a lot of parenthood criticism out there, and there's really no one right way to parent. So, you know, if your kids living, breathing, and they're happy, good job, man. But I think that's going to wrap it up for the day. Don't forget to follow us on our other social media. We've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, and then Kayley and I also have our individual TikToks. I will link all of those down below. Make sure to like this video to become part of the hashtag Cali Friends and to subscribe to become part of the hashtag Cali Family. It has been wonderful hanging out with you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye!